Shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'Hashem Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who are well. And shalom to you sincere, hopeful, elect brothers and sisters listening and learning. And to you brothers preaching and teaching this truth to the four corners of the earth. This is the brother Nathan, coming out of the GMS Indianapolis camp. Coming back with a quick one through the Spirit. And I'm going to go start off at Sirach chapter 12 and verse 10. It says, never trust thine enemy. So little do people, to the Israelites know, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, you don't understand that, guess what? You have enemies. All right? You can read about that in Psalms 83. So starting off with Esau and the so-called white man. The 18 nations, the Yahweh Shemel Shah, chose what? The children of Israel. Okay? And guess what? We have enemies. Those nations hate us. All right, they're not for us. Neither have they ever been because they weren't chosen, man. So they're jealous. All right, that's why they have to make false gods and idols, to make themselves feel empowered. Nah, man. We serve the true and living power, Yahweh Ba'Shem Shah. Yahweh, which means he is or he exists, who the world calls God. Ba'Hashem means in the name. Yahweh Shah, which means he saves or he delivers. All right, who the world even calls Jesus, man. All right, the true name is Yahweh Ba'Shem Shah, and that's in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. Okay, the Lashon Kodash, which means the holy tongue. All right, so never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so does his wickedness. All right. Especially Esau, even the so-called white man. He is not on our side. Yeah, they might act cool at work, and and then sometimes there's speckled birds. Not all that look like Edomites on the outside are actually Edomites. The so-called white people. Because Jake has been scattered through the four corners of the earth, and they look like every other nation. All right, every nation that's on the earth. It says, for as iron rusted, so does his wickedness. All right, because, I'm going to keep going. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Right, because he hides it. He'll give you that old buddy, old pal spirit, be on the job. Acting like he's your friend, but he's secretly telling on you. All right, he acts like he's got your back. All right, but he's going to your boss and saying he ain't doing this or he ain't doing that, or he said this. All right, that's why you gotta tread lightly with these people, man. All right, ultimately, you gotta be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. All right, so yeah, you move and groove. You're not just at the job place or out and about just mugging people and shit because they're, they perceive to be a heathen, right? Well, you say, like Scripture say, if it be all in you, if it be in you, roughly paraphrasing, be peaceable with all men. All right, and that's wisdom, because you do that. We have to move and groove. We have to get in and get out of this matrix. So, if you're going around stirring up drama, just because these are heathen, that's gonna make this captivity 10 times harder. All right, that's why the Lord's told us that. All right, and see, Jake is still in that spirit of Isaiah 30 and 1. That's why they're getting still downtrodden, because here it is, Isaiah 30 and verse 1. It says, "Woe to the rebellious children." Woe meaning destruction. And who's the rebellious children? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Why? Because you don't listen to the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that the Lord has put out here in the scriptures, man. You don't listen to the men Yahweh Shemel Shah has set up. All right, here it is. He gave us the path to righteousness. All right, via his law, statutes, and commandments. He's given us a way to escape. He's given us Yahweh Shah. All right, his only begotten Son, to die on the cross for the sins of the nation of Israel. But Jake ain't taking advantage of it. They're taking advantage of it in the wrong way. See, they got to say, oh, I'm saved by grace. So they're out here just committing all manner of wickedness, instead of repenting, and coming back to Yahweh Shem Shai and rehearsing the righteous acts. Via his law, statutes, commandments. But see, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, 2/3 of y'all don't want to do that, man. Y'all love it here in America. You love and trust in oppression. So that's why this place, America Babylon the Great, is going to be your downfall. All right, because it says, woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, that take counsel, but not of me. And that cover what they cover, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. All right. Because anytime you're not following after the ways of Yahweh Shem Shai, you're going off. All right. That's why Proverbs 3:5 says what? Lean not unto thine own understanding. All right. The Lord gave us the understanding on how we should follow. He said what? Acknowledge him in all thy ways, and he shall direct thy steps. All right. So that's what we're betting on. That's where our faith is in Yahweh Shem Shai. The other Yash, man, here in Indiana, he was like, they basically live life on easy mode, basically because you're not worried about anything. Basically, if you trust in Yahweh Shem Shai, he's got us. Regardless how grim a situation might seem, the Lord always delivers us out of our situations, man. He delivers those that trust in him and fight and stand 10 toes down for Yahweh Shem Shai. But 2/3 of you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans that are set to be destroyed on this side, all right, y'all don't have Yahweh Shem Shai. Y'all still believing in Jesus Christo, Jesus Christ, Buddha, Amun-Ra, everything but Yahweh Shem Shai. So, and you wonder why you're in the position you are in this world. All right. So hey, so guess what? That's why you're going to be destroyed, because you're seeking counsel and looking for understanding in all the wrong places. But then you're ultimately rebellious, and the scriptures say what? Rebellion is the sin of witchcraft, and we know what it says about a witch. It says, "Suffer not a witch to live." All right. So yeah, being rebellious is a horrible thing to do. All right. Especially if you're given the understanding and you're just out here willfully sinning. All right, Yahweh Shem Shai is not going to honor that. All right, because you were given the know. And that's also true. That's why Yahweh Shai said, if I had not come, they'd not had sin. But since Yahweh Shem Shai has come, and his words being preached to the four corners of the earth, all right, there's no more cloak for their sins. All right, the Lord ain't gonna no longer wink at your ignorance, because the truth is out here. Okay, but see, but Jake don't want the truth. Wait, you said understood not, but despised it. All right, you're not looking for salvation. All right, you think salvation is here in America. Because you can be in that do as thou will spirit. You don't have to be held accountable to Yahweh Shem Shai. That way you can just do all your wickedness and live out what they say, living out your dreams here. No, fuck that, man. It's good to be in order, all right? It's good to have an understanding that Yahweh Shem Shai is for us, man. If we follow him and do his will, man, there ain't nobody that can come against us, man. What it said, Isaiah in the 54th chapter says what? No weapon against thee shall prosper. And every, let me get that real quick. Here we go. It's Isaiah 54 and verse 17. It says, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants. See? It's for those serving. Hey, there's truth, right? Amos 3:7 says, surely he'll do nothing, but he reveals his secret to his servants, the prophets, all right? The ones that are serving Yahweh Shem Shai in truth and sincerity. All right, he's got us. It says, this is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh Shem Shai, and their righteousness is of me, said Yahweh Shem Shai. Not our own righteousness. No, we're not going to serve our own belly and do what we think is right. No, we're going to be in the same, following the same footsteps, following the same path of Yahweh Shem Shai. All right? And ultimately, the elect, all right, they're going to do what's right in the sight of the Lord and be made perfect through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. All right? They're going to be considered perfect. Even though our righteousness is filthy rags, that's why we don't get puffed up and proud, because we live wickedly. Vast majority of us spend a whole lot of years, being unrighteous than we do trying to uphold righteousness. Okay? This is back to Isaiah 30 and verse 2. I'm going to read the latter part of verse 1. It says, and that cover what they covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Right? Because when you're doing your own thing, all right, all you're going to do is heap more sin unto yourself. You're going to be laden in iniquity. All right? And the Lord's going to judge you and destroy you for that, man. All right? Hey, the scriptures say he's given no man a license to sin. But here it is, the Christian church will use grace as a license to sin, man. So they can eat their abominations, so they can have their seafood boils, so they can eat their pork, so they can eat their catfish dinners, man. So they can get their laser lineups, right? Get tattoos. So that's what Jake is seeking after, man. Popping another man's woman, right? Verse 2, it says, that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Right. And here it is, our people, here it is, 2025, and you're still, an Esau spell is still heavy on you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. If you just work hard and you go to school and you rack up all this fucking debt, you're going to be okay. Nah, man. That's not living. All right? You want to go and vote, for a heathen? Or, hey, even 2/3 of our people, man. You vote for our people within Esau, Edom's government system, right? I remind you, they're not in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. They're in the spirit of Esau, Edom, the god of this world, the so-called white man. All right, so even if you see someone like yourself in office that you're voting in, right? Well, they're following out the ways of Esau, Edom. They're in the beast system themselves, man. All right, just like they're gonna be down for the MOT to the B. All right, these government officials, man, because they're living sweet. All right. Hey, like they say in the world, they're living high on the hog. Hey, no pun intended. Hey, there's some pork eating mugs, man. Jake don't want to put down that pork, man. Jake loves swine's flesh, and guess what? They're gonna be consumed away for that. That's what the scripture said. So it's serious. It says, verse 3, Isaiah 30, verse 3, it says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Yep, because Jake done put all they marbles in the basket of Esau Edom in his system, and that's not a good foundation. All right, that's like trying to build it on sand, man. All right, it ain't gonna work out. It might hold for a little bit, but eventually it's gonna deteriorate. See, but if you follow after the ways of Yahweh Shem Shai, you're gonna be made perfect. And that name is a good foundation. All right, it's gonna uphold you. Whether it's the good, bad, or ugly. Yahweh Shema Shai is going to carry you through all adversity. All right? So we can't forget about that. It says, we have looked, hold on. God. Well, it cannot save us. It's in Lamentations. Let me see here. Yeah, God. It's Lamentations 4:17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. Right. Like Jake is still here, 2025, hoping the white man will see them as equals. Still marching and protesting. Please, white man, please accept us. Please let us eat off your dinner table. Please, no more scraps. Jake just wants a sliver of Esau's system. All right, that ain't no type of life, man. That's a weak mindset. Here it is. We're kings, and the daughters of Zion are princesses, man. You know, we're future kings, man. We're princes. Yasharala, which means he prince power. You know, princes of the power. Okay. We're a royal priesthood, man. But here it is. Jacob just wants to settle for a Little Caesar's pizza, a backwoods, you know, and his weed, man, in a game system, and he think he made it in life. That's some low level thinking. All right, but Jacob will fight tooth and nail to save this place and defend this place, man. But it's been nothing but pure hell. But see, that's why Scripture said, never trust thine enemy. All right? And Jake wait till they family members get jacked up, you know, and then be like, oh, we should have never trusted him. Well, the men of the Lord that Yahweh Shemashah set up have been trying to tell you. But this is what? A rebellious house. All right? It's Sirach chapter 12. In verse 12, it says, set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Right. All right. You don't want to be around him. You don't want to trust him. You know. Obviously, at work, you're gonna have to deal with Esau. That's just comes with the territory. You know, for the vast majority of us. All right, if you can avoid these heathen, especially Esau, Edom, so-called white men, hey, great. More power to you. If the Wadi Abashim shot for that, right? But it's damn near impossible, you know? All right, yeah, you don't even let him sit with you. Because what? He's looking to find how to take you down. He's taking notes. He's trying to gain your trust, so he can screw you over in the end. Okay? Verse 13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent? Or any such as come nigh wild beast? See? Who's going to pity you? Because the warning was given out. Like you see these motherfuckers get torn up and ravished in a zoo. Well, the sign says, don't go in there. Dangerous animal. Dangerous wildlife, right? You know, whatever the case may be, and then what? People do it anyways, and then when they get mauled to death, they want to kill the fucking animal. Well, shit. If they would just listen to, they wouldn't be destroyed. So we don't pity you when Esau Edom rolls on Jake because he went on a camping trip or a fishing trip and they didn't return back, man. You know, they go on a deer hunting mission with Esau. And Esau claims, you know, it's a group of 10 of them, you know. And Esau claims a deer jumped out and he turned and pulled the trigger and blew off Reggie's head, you know. The big, nice, simple black dude, you know, who is their whole plan, man. was to kill him for fun, man, for sport. You know, you see these countless stories. Jake woman goes to a sleepover with Edomites and she dies in the middle of the night. Come on, man. All right. So Jake got to get out of that. Well, we all bleed the same. We're all people, right? But Yahweh Shem Shai divided the nations. All right, he set apart. All right, he don't want everybody in unity. That's not the Lord's plan. See, that's the problem. See, you want to lean onto your own understanding, and then when you get jacked up, all right, and then look, like I said, you got them in the Lord telling you people this. So that's why I said we're not going to pity you. All right, we're going to say good riddance. You should have listened. Okay? Well, I just pulled up to the camp spot. So with that, I pray that was edifying to the elect. I like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Kwame Yasharallah. Shalom.